Well, you get what you asked for. What's up, fans? So, Sunday, we'll be home for the Detroit Lions. There's a few tidbits I'd like to talk about. Obviously, we're going to talk about the injury report, and obviously, we're going to talk about a major injury. Let's get into the injuries real quick, and then I'll talk about, obviously, the keys to beating the Detroit Lions. So, the injury report, so far, the only people that didn't practice today of me recording this, which is Thursday, is Frank Gore, but that's a veteran day. Charles Harris, he's still having ankle problems, and Jonathan Woodard, who's in concussion protocol. Other than that, everyone practiced either in full or limited basis. One of them that practiced in full that I was really happy about was AJ Derby. Even though O'Neal is stepping up big time, I like the fact of AJ Derby in there. It gives him more options at the passing down because Gesicki and Smythe are kind of struggling. So it's good to have those tight ends in. You saw last week against the Bears how well it is to have a tight end in there. The other two big additions that had either full or limited practice was Cameron Wake and Bobby McCain, because we all saw what happened when friggin' McTyer was in there and he was getting roasted. Absolutely roasted. So it's huge to see that they were in there. But limited, again, is Cameron Wake. Ryan Tannehill was in there. He wasn't throwing. He literally wasn't moving his right arm, but he was doing like some movements and following the quarterback and still trying to stay in shape, I guess you can call it. McCain was limited and Deion Branch was limited. But supposedly this game against the Lions is probably going to be the first game for McCain to be back. And they're really thinking that this is the first game for Wake to be back, which would be huge because I'm hearing out of practice he still has that burst and that speed. So that would be absolutely huge. But I want to talk about Ryan Tannehill real quick. So I made a video on Monday asking, who should start, Ryan Tannehill or Brock Osweiler? And I picked Ryan Tannehill if he was injured. And I got a ton of people telling me I'm done with Ryan Tannehill. He fumbles every single game, which is just not true. He sucks. He has no pocket presence, which he doesn't. I will agree with you on that. He doesn't know how to read a defense, which isn't true. He does know how to read the defense. He has no control over this team, and he's not aggressive towards a win, which also isn't true. I've seen this dude fight. Like, he was the most sacked quarterback ever, and he was still in there fighting for this team. So to say that he doesn't fight for the team and he doesn't have the team behind him is kind of false. But I can see where you guys are coming from, because Brock Osweiler had a great game. Everyone was riding on that, comeback and then the overtime win, and everyone had the great feeling of Brock Osweiler did this. The team played great under Brock Osweiler. Oh my God, I love Brock Osweiler. But you gotta realize something. Even if Ryan Tannehill was in there, that offensive line had a perfect plan to stop Mac and a perfect plan to keep that pocket clean for him. So even if it was Ryan Tannehill, I really think it would have been the same outcome. Also, it's one game. I'm happy Brock is starting. I like what Brock did. Again, I said in my video on Monday that Tannehill won't be on the team next year. And if he is, he needs to take a huge pay cut, because for $26 million for a backup isn't good. And I don't think he's considered a starter. I don't think he's good enough to be considered a starter. But all these people that are thinking that Brock Osweiler is the next coming and Brock Osweiler is so much better, and it's one game. We've seen this one game thing with Brock Osweiler. So I'm not saying it's not going to happen. Not saying he's going to thrive in this offense. Not going to say that. But do remember, this is the last thing I'm going to say about this, and then we'll get on to the keys to beating the Detroit Lions. Do remember how everyone felt about Brock Osweiler when we signed him, when he was in OTAs and training camp, and what we saw in preseason. Just remember that feeling you had. Again, I think he'll do great. I like what he's doing, and I know Adam Gase knows how to call plays for him. But kind of bring your expectations down and realize that Brock Osweiler and Ryan Tannehill are the same quarterback with just different skill sets. That's all I'm trying to say. I like both quarterbacks. I don't think we can win Super Bowls and playoffs with both quarterbacks. We do need a quarterback, but just try to keep it even keel, if you get what I'm saying. But other than that, so that's the injury report. We should be getting Wake back. We should be getting McCain back. We should be getting AJ Derby back, which is huge. we could potentially be a 5-2 team, and then having our healthy players come back. Even Brendel's going to be coming back off of IR, I think, in 2 weeks. It's huge, because if we can get this cushion of winning this game and next game against the Texans and go up 7-2, that's huge. We literally need to win a minimum of 3 games out of 8. If we can make it to the Jets game at the halfway mark of the season and be 7-2, huge, absolutely huge, because then we just keep playing our ball, and if all we need to do is win 3 to 4 games out of the next 8, and we're in the playoffs. So remember that. So these next 2 games are huge. They're pivotal because they can help us out towards the playoffs, and healthy players are coming back. But let's get into the reason you're watching this video, which is talk about the Detroit Lions game and my 5 keys to beating the Detroit Lions. Here we go. Number 1, like usual, gotta stop the run. We gotta stop Johnson, their running back. He's been playing really well. He's been breaking off nice runs. We need to stop him, and we need to make this team one-dimensional. Now, to put this all on Stafford's hands, he does make mistakes, but he's still a really good quarterback, and he still can make really good throws. I said in the picks video, I'm not worried about the wide receivers because we have a great secondary with Howard and McCain and Jones and McDonald and Fitzpatrick. Like, we're set, but McCain needs to stay healthy. He still is a little banged up, and he probably will play, but he needs to stay healthy. He needs to be mentally ready for this. He needs to get the rust off and play. So we need to stop the run and force Stafford to make stupid picks and stupid decisions. Just all the Dolphins need to do is watch that Jets game and see what they did and just duplicate it. That's what we need. Number 2, this O-line needs to play exactly like they played against the Bears. The Bears had a better pass rush, and we demolished it. So if we can keep this Detroit Lions pass rush, which isn't bad, I'm not saying it's bad pass rush, but if we can keep this Detroit Lions pass rush to a minimum, and we can keep Brock Osweiler to no sacks like we did against the Bears, we could win this game. We can definitely win this game. Brock Osweiler needs to stay clean, and he needs to not make stupid mistakes. So the O-line needs to play well, and if the O-line plays well, then what does that mean? Number 3, we gotta run the ball, baby. We ran the ball against the number 1 rush defense in the NFL and got over 150 yards rushing. We need to do it again. I don't care if it's Frank Gore, I don't care if it's Kenyon Drake. We need to do it again, and we need to run the ball. Running the ball opens up play action, which then opens up the deep pass, because all of a sudden the safeties and the linebackers all have to play up to stop that run. So if we could stick to the run, big and great things can happen. Producing runs and big runs, especially late in the game when we need first downs to end the game, is huge. So hopefully we can stick to that. 4, no turnovers on offense, but a ton of turnovers on defense. This defense has just been playing lights out when it comes to getting turnovers. I think they're number 1 in the league in interception. Well, I know they are, but I think they're number 1 in the league in turnovers in general. They're playing really well, and they know how to get the ball. So if the defense can keep doing that, and the offense can limit their turnovers, we can win this game. We can definitely win this game, because just look at the Bears game. There was 2 times they were in the red zone. There was a fumble, and then there was an interception. Those 2 times could have been 3 or 6 points, and that could have completely swung the game. There would have been no overtime. There would have been no win. So the defense needs to keep doing what they're doing, keep playing ball hawk, get the ball, and do your thing. On offense, we need to limit the turnovers. How bad and how many of you guys were hurt by that Kenyon Drake fumble in overtime? It broke your freaking hearts. I thought we won. I jumped up, I screamed. I thought he broke the plane with the ball. I had no idea he fumbled it. We got to limit the turnovers on offense. This offense is still learning. This offense is still growing. So we cannot take chances with turnovers and give the defense back on the field and tire the defense out. We need this defense fresh and getting after the quarterback. That's what we need. So to do that, we need the offense to, like I said, no turnovers, and then what I'm about to say as number 5, we need to convert 3rd downs. We need to keep this defense on the sideline, let them get, let them relax, but then also tire out the other defense. And this one, if we can convert these 3rd downs, and if we can prevent the 1st downs, and our defense can get off the field and roast their defense, big things can happen, like the Bears game when Albert Wilson ran 2 huge touchdown back because their defense was gassed. They had no pass rush towards the end of the game because the defensive tackles were standing there gassed. And then we started converting. First down, first down. So to win this game, we need to stop the run. The O-line needs to play great again. We need to run the ball. We need to have no turnovers, but we need to convert. We need to get turnovers, and we need to convert third downs and get off the field on defense after third downs. If we do all of this, we will win this game. I'm picking the Dolphins to win. I think their defense will give this Detroit Lions offense trouble. I think our offense with Wilson, with Stills, with Amendola, who catches literally everything you throw at him, and Jakeem Grant, who's this small, shifty speedster, I think we can win this game, and I think we'll win this game 24-17. I've been picking that a lot, but it seems right. I think we'll win by a touchdown. But yeah, comment below. Let me know what you guys think the Dolphins need to do to win this game. If I missed something, you agree with something, you want to elaborate on something, be sure to comment below. And speaking of commenting below, let me get to one of you guys' comments. This one comes from Kelly Goolsby. If I said your name wrong, I apologize. And he says to me, I've been watching you all season, and I really love the content, humor, and positive energy, which is much needed in the Dolph fandom. Great channel. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. He says, question, with the Finns possibly starting to get healthy at the right time and the next man up playing well enough, any moves to be made to possibly upgrade a cornerback spot or add depth on the D-line? McTire getting roasted over and over is getting old. Expand as only you can. First off, thank you for the love. I really appreciate that. I notice a lot of you guys have been saying how much you like the channel and how you're a subscriber and stuff. I really, really, really appreciate that. Team is getting healthy, like I said before, and with the team getting healthy and with the team getting better as the season goes on, it's just we're going to play better, we're going to play harder, we're getting our stars back, McCain, Wake, Brendel, like we're going to have depth on the offensive line again. When he asks about potentially getting players to help, especially at cornerback position, if you remember, I was talking about Patrick Peterson, potentially trading for him, maybe giving a third for Patrick Peterson. I would only do that if he was okay with restructuring his contract, because his contract's pretty big. When it comes to defense and offensive lines, I know this week they were bringing in a lot of players that they were trying out. So they are looking at bringing players in and trying them out and putting the depth on the line. Hopefully Woodard comes back from his concussion protocol, because he got a sack, like one of the first sacks in the game, so he was big. But I definitely can see them, I don't know if trading, I don't know if they'll trade for somebody, give picks away, or trade away somebody, aka Parker. But I do see them bringing more people in, because I do see them thinking that this season isn't a wash. We could definitely win games, we could definitely make the playoffs. This season isn't, hands down over, because they're 4-2. We win on Sunday, we're 5-2. We beat the Texans, we're 6-2, which obviously we wouldn't be 7-2. When we go to the half point, we'd be 6-2. So obviously forgive the mistake I had in the beginning of the video. But yeah, I can see them making moves, but I don't know if they'd be trades. Dolphins don't really like to trade away picks to get players, if you notice. They did it with Quinn, but that was in the offseason. They really don't do it during the season. But again, thank you for the question. I hope I answered your question the way you wanted me to, or that satisfies your asking. I don't know what I'm saying. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I started putting a little Instagram thing right here. So follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I'm going to start doing Instagram stories. I'm going to start telling you guys stuff on Instagram. But follow me there not only because I tweet out a bunch of things like I usually say, and I retweet things, but just so in case I go live or I'm going to put a video out today and I need questions. I normally ask on Twitter, or I normally tell you guys on Twitter, hey, I'm going to go live today. If it just pops in my head like, hey, screw it, let's go live today. So if you're following me on Twitter, or if you're following me on Instagram, you'll be able to see it, and you'll be able to either ask me a question and get on the video, or see the live stream. Follow my second channel if you haven't already, Bit Boys. We put videos out every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're playing new games. We're going to be playing a ton of new games, and we're going to continue to play Madden. It's been a while, but I promise you we're going to continue to play Madden. So if you haven't already, go over there, subscribe to that channel if you like it. If you like video games, do it. If not, no skin. Don't worry about it. Give a thumbs up. Give a thumbs up, because this team is finally getting healthy. This team is playing together. This offensive line is finally gelling. They had to put the new pieces in, but they're finally getting together. They're finally playing coherent. This team is just playing better. Give a thumbs up because we're gonna be 5-2. The season is panning off in a really good direction. If they keep playing in this direction, the season is gonna end up being great for us. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already, because I do this every week. I do these videos, I do post reactions, and on Wednesdays and sometimes Mondays and Tuesdays I do videos, but I do my picks on Wednesday. So if you're not a Dolphins fan and you still want to see what I do, subscribe and you'll see that stuff on Wednesday. Other than that, I will see you guys Sunday, hopefully after a Dolphins victory. I'm going to be wearing the same exact thing I wore last Sunday because I'm superstitious and I'm really weird. But like usual, stay classy. Fins up. Here's my dad. What's up? And then we're gonna pick some games. But first things first, you didn't really get to hear. So my dad soaked this in for a good amount of time. Is there anything about that game on Sunday, that Bears game, that you want to say?
Better coaching.
Better coaching.